Alright, this is my first attempt to record some things that have been catching my eyes. So let's go with what I've been seeing. So as some of you know, WEF, World Economic Forum, has been busy. They've been making it pretty, known to public, the types of meetings that they've been having. And so we're just going to take a look at that right now. WEF follows up massively successful COVID con with warning of imminent worldwide cyber attack, Klaus Schwab. Let's check that out.
Masks are not sufficient. We need vaccines to immunize ourselves. The same is true for cyber attacks. Here too, we have to move from simple protection to immunization. We need to build IT infrastructures that have digital antibodies built in inherently to protect themselves.
Now, I have to go back a little bit further because this all came up a while back when they...
There's all sorts of talk.
There's going to be food shortages due to cyber attacks. And mainstream media news outlets have been putting it out there right in front of our faces all along. Politico, CNN, Washington Post, WSJ, and most of you that were following those stories might have heard of the JBS ransomware hack. BBC, NPR, New York Times, The Guardian. So all these news outlets are saying the same thing. Cyber attack on food supply followed years of warnings. Virtually no mandatory cybersecurity rules govern the millions of food and agriculture businesses that account for about a fifth of the US economy, and now the risk has become real. And these were being released, this is June, but there was more coming out way back, like April, May. There's a few different things being updated here. So as you can see, that was the concern. And even to backtrack a little bit more, there was a lot of talk about how we need to cut down the beef supply to help our Earth. Climate change issues. A lot of different talk. Okay, so you can all look up that stuff. Pretty easy to find. Basic stuff. Now they talk about this is what they've been preparing for. So this is updated July 15th, 2021. Prepping for a cyber pandemic. Worldwide drill underway. Let's listen.
Your investigator Kendra Nichols reports tonight.
Cyber Polygon is an annual event hosted by the World Economic Forum. Think of it as a worldwide training exercise on how to deal with cyber attacks.
It is inevitable that some larger attack is going to occur one day.
Security experts like John Sansonito are watching what happens.
What's being talked about today and over the next couple of days is a potential real-world situation which we could be facing in another 6 months, in another year, or even tomorrow.
This year, 200 teams from 48 countries registered for the training. Companies like IBM, Santander, and Ernst & Young are on the list. The focus of the live drill this year, a targeted supply chain attack on a corporation. Something that, if it happened in real life, would affect all of us by shutting down things like water treatment facilities, the power grid, or even the internet itself.
What would you do if you couldn't access your bank accounts, if you couldn't access the internet, if your cell phone suddenly stopped working? These are the kind of things that people really do need to think through, because one day may be facing a crisis like that.
The bad guys are never stopping.
Centric Bank, like all banks, is constantly fighting potential cyber attacks.
Over the course of a quarter, it's in excess of 1 million.
And they can pinpoint where the attempted attacks are coming from.
Russia is number one, followed by the Netherlands, and then it goes down the scale. But by far, Russia surpasses all the others combined. There's a silent war going on. And it's truly what it is, to keep the bad guys, at bay and keep, all the information safe.
The Cyber Polygon event goes on for several days. They will also be talking about ransomware, which experts say leads to most of the cyber attacks that we've been seeing these days, which is why they warn us now more than ever not to click on any of those suspicious links or attachments. With the ABC 27.
Okay, you get the idea. So they're preparing everybody for this, right? And whether or not it's man-made or not, things can be affected. So let's go back to something similar that happened like this. Okay, so this meeting was on July 9th, talking about staging another cyber attack exercise. As it continues to prep for a potential cyber pandemic that founder Klaus Schwab says will be worse than the current global crisis, as you heard him say. Let's go down here. Following up on last year's Cyber Polygon cyber attack exercise, an event aimed at preventing a digital pandemic, the WEF has announced that the 2021 edition will be taking place on July 9th. This year, Cyber Polygon 2021 will simulate a fictional cyber attack with participants from dozens of countries responding to a targeted supply chain attack on a corporate ecosystem in real time. And if you remember, according to the WEF, COVID-19 was known as an anticipated risk, and so its digital equivalent, what's more, a cyber attack with the COVID-like characteristics, would spread faster and farther than any biological virus. Its reproductive rate would be around 10 times greater than what we've experienced with the coronavirus. Quoting from World Economic Forum, if you remember going back a little bit, of October, I believe it was, 2019, was when they had their preparation for a virus pandemic. Interesting enough. Then what happens? December, we have our first case, I believe it was, to hear of something such coming to reality. So just be prepared and be aware. All this hyped up nonsense is what you're hearing, but they're still trying to prepare us for something, some type of shutdown. So I wouldn't just take it at, it's just nonsense. Yeah, we know that these guys have more because they're really desperate now. More people are declining and refusing to take the vaccine, even though so many have paid a high price through ignorance. There's more to be shared about this.